So in this video, I wanted to take a quick look at a multi-pen called the Zebra Sarasa 3. This is a fairly popular multi-pen in the 3-color version. So it's not a 3-in-1, which would be 3-color pens and a pencil. And it's not a 4-in-1 or anything like that. It's just a 3-color pen. And there are a few pens in this class. In fact, it's pretty hard to tell them apart since they're all so similar. But this is the Zebra Sarasa 3. It uses the Sarasa ink, which is a quick drying gel ink, which I really like. I know a lot of people out there really like. So that immediately makes this a fairly attractive pen. It sells for about $5 to $6, available off Amazon and other sellers. So not too hard to get at if you're looking for it. So what is the deal with the Sarasa 3 aside from it using the Sarasa ink? I would say it's a medium-sized, not too big, not too small, multi-pen. It is thick, but it's not crazily thick, and it's not something where the company put a lot of engineering into making it thin. So here's it next to, say, kind of a Bic. Definitely a marked difference there. But here is it next to a thin multi-pen, the Acro 3 from Pilot, which is the nearest competitor, and we'll talk about that one in a second. Medium length, kind of just normal length there. It's a pretty cool looking multi-pen, I will say. I bought it in the white, which has a little bit of a kind of a sparkle type crystal thing to it. It's too subtle to be called sparkle, but there's definitely something going on there. I think it's actually pretty cool looking. It's more like, if you see the clear, it's more like a crinkle or something in the plastic, like a frosting, than it is sparkle. But at the end of the day, it is kind of a sparkle type effect. Spring-loaded clip, just like the Sarasa clip. The clip it feels less aggressive on a larger pen. So actually, I like it a lot. It's a great clip, just like really nicely done. Looks cool. Rubber grip, slightly tapered. It is comfortable. It's a nice grip. Not as good as the Acro. The Acro has the sneaker grip, which I really like. Pretty reasonable cone there. It has these ink cartridges that come with the little red balls on there to keep them fresh or whatever, and they are impossible to get all that stuff off, but not a huge deal. Detail wise, it uses the Zebra JK05. That's their standard Sarasa skinny refill, which we'll see in a second. It's called the JK05. It's also sold in 07 and maybe a 1.0, but it's a pretty standard refill. It might actually be sold as the NJK05, but that's what it uses. Retail price of 350 yen. Yeah, you get it in the US for about 550 shipped, which makes sense. The front tip, or the back tip rather, has this cool little taper here. It doesn't serve any purpose, and nothing happens here, but it is pretty cool. The pen changes ink color with a slide, and if you slide this down, the color changes. There's no button at the top, so there's no release there, and you can't do anything with this, so it's locked out. The only way to get the pen to retract is to push a different color. There is one other way, which is hidden here. So if you push this down, lifting the clip won't do anything. But if you were to put it in your pocket or press this down, it will send it back. And that's just a little protector so that if you have this down and you put this someplace, again, like in your pocket, that would retract, which is a nice little feature. Usually you would see it if this was down. Picking up the clip would send it back, and that was basically how it would work with like a Pentel Graph Gear 1000 pencil, but that's not the case here. You have to lift it, and something has to push that down. But again, cool little feature. Opening this up, you can see rubberized grip, nice coarse thread here, so it pulls off pretty quickly. There's that refill, just presses in and presses out. It is impossible to make out the writing on there, but I mean, not quite impossible, almost impossible. It's a JK05, so JK05 refill. And these are actually really nice writers. Sometimes I go back and forth between whether I prefer the Zebra Sarasa 3 and the Acro 3, or the Acro 4 in this case. And I usually end up with the Acro, just because it's a more comfortable pen for me. But I actually, at the end of the day, I prefer the Sarasa ink. It's just a nicer, drier writing ink. Acro ink is great, but Sarasa ink is just, I have to say, for at least as far as these two pens are concerned, it's probably a step up. So this is the Zebra Sarasa 3 blue, and it is 0.5 millimeter. Obviously it's blue, no shock there. But Sarasa 3 is a nice, quick drying gel ink. It has a really nice dry feel to it, but still manages a really nice color. The red is quite good, and the black is good, but I think the red and the blue are kind of standouts to me visually. Do a quick comparison against the Acro. So this is the Pilot, got the wrong color. This is the Pilot Acro 4. I was calling it the Acro 3. It's the Acro 4. Acro is really good too. No complaints there. The Zebra just has a little bit more kind of feedback to it, and I just kind of like how it feels a little bit better. The Acro, I think, has a kind of a more vibrant blue. It definitely pops a little bit more, but the Zebra, I think, is the better writer. And again, that's restricting it just to these small little refills here. I've done a lot of talk, obviously, about Zebras and Sarasas and Pilots and Acros in the past. One advantage of the Acro is it does have that little line there around the cone, so you always know what you're writing with. Zebra does not do that, so you have to look by the guide color here. So that's it. That is the Zebra Sarasa 3. It's a really nice 3-color gel pen. No real complaints about it. I know it's not super popular, but it's fairly popular, but it's not ones you tend to see. I think you tend to see the Jetstreams a lot more. Then behind that, you'll see the Acro Ball and the Sarasa. I definitely recommend picking up. I like the Sarasa 3 a lot. I like the Acro 4, and I believe I have an Acro 3 somewhere. I like those a little bit more, but the Sarasa ink, I think, has a little bit of advantage. It's just, for me, the quality of a Multipen, really the first thing it comes down to is how comfortable it is. So I don't like when they get super thick. So this one is, I would say, medium thick, not absurd. This is even less so. This is really nicely done for a 4-color. So it's worth keeping in mind that if you have preference about the size of the pen, the Acro has the Sarasa beat. Last thing I wanted to do is see if we could swap, and I'm not sure if the two are interchangeable. Usually what kills you here is not the length, but the Sarasas are a little bit on the thick side. So when you have a press fit, yeah, it doesn't fit. It's just a little bit too thick. So when you have a press fit, it kind of doesn't fit into that hole unless it's exactly right. So this one just doesn't quite make it in. That's too bad. So they're not interchangeable. So if you want an Acro body, you're going to be using the Acro ink. Nothing wrong with that, but got to keep it in mind. Nope. This is confusing, but the Acro has, you can see it's a 4-color pen, but there's actually 5 holes in there, so you have to be a little careful because they use that same internal mechanism for the 4+1, I believe. So you can see that setup there. It has only 3 holes in that area, no 4th. So yeah, that is the Zebra Sarasa 3 Multipen. Nice pickup, maybe not the best. Thanks for watching.